Every time everybody talks about this movie, they always talk about Japan and how they were dealing with atomic bombs being dropped of them and the world entering the nuclear age and stuff like that. So I'm going to acknowledge that right up at the beginning. But I like to focus on other stuff about Godzilla. Because this movie, yes, it's about atomic bombs and stuff like that and mass destruction weapons. But it's also got a lot of other uh, subjects, topics that it covers in this movie that I find just as interesting. So let's talk about this one. First off, I just watched this not too long ago. I wrote down some notes like I usually do. But this was the first time I actually watched the original Japanese version of Godzilla. I've only seen the Perry Mason version of Godzilla, Raymond Burr, other words, aka Perry Mason. I've only seen that version of it, so this was my first time actually watching the Japanese version of Godzilla, and it was great. I liked it. Of course, the special effects and stuff is outdated. I think one of the things that they might have messed up with back in that I think they should probably redo is the first time we actually see the Godzilla creature is in the daytime. And let's just say it's not very horrifying. Maybe back in the 1950s it was, but in today's time period, it wasn't very horrifying. It was just looked like you could tell it was kind of like a clay figure or something like that. Whatever material they use, it looked very faked. However, later in the movie, when he's attacking or it, I don't know. It depends if you think he's a guy or a girl. Well, anyways, when Godzilla is attacking Tokyo or Japan at nighttime, then it looks more realistic because they're able to hide that stuff a lot better. And it looks a little bit more terrifying when it's done at nighttime. But the first time you see it, he kind of raises his head up above a hill during the daytime, and you're like, "Oh, that's Godzilla." Kind of show the monster a little bit too early in that case. But when we see him at nighttime, yeah, it really pops. It really, get that little horror feeling to it. But that'll be one of my only complaints I've had about the movie about Godzilla and their use of practical effects and stop motion. But one thing I really want to tune into is kind of like the characters themselves. And it's what this movie really has is a lot of moral decisions that these characters have to make throughout the movie. And, you have our doctor here. I got these names. I think I did do names this time. You have... Well, we have one doctor. Oh man, okay. We have one doctor, excuse me, I can't pronounce names. Dr. Yamain. And he's an interesting character because he wants to study Godzilla. He's the doctor. He doesn't want to try to kill Godzilla. He's trying to say, hey, if we can kind of control him, or something. But I think we should study Godzilla. We need to figure out what he's made of, like why we are able to withstand bombs and stuff. What's his motivations, I guess you could say. So he's wanting to study Godzilla and to get more discoveries, and maybe discoveries they make on Godzilla they can use for their own purposes as a human race or as a country. So he wants to take the opportunity to learn from the creature. Everybody else is like, just destroy the thing. He's like, no, I want to learn from it. He gets that question about learning from Godzilla. And then you have another doctor who's kind of like the guy who, why did I not put his name down? Sorry here. I put his name down, but I need to put the other doctor's name down that just made the oxygen destroyer. Anyways, that doctor, that scientist, he made this oxygen destroyer. Doesn't really say how he came upon it and what he was researching. It feels like he was researching something else and kind of came across this chemical reaction to destroy his oxygen. And he's kind of like, the guy who was it, Noble or whoever created dynamite. Dynamite was to help build tunnels, I think, for trains, if I got my history right. Don't come to me for history lessons on that kind of particular stuff anyways. So he got this creation where he can destroy oxygen, but he's wanting to hide it because he doesn't want it to be used for weapons and destructions. But at the end, he kind of succumbs to the pressure, and they use his discovery to kill Godzilla. However, he makes sure that he destroys all his scientific findings on how he came up with this ability to destroy oxygen so that nobody can use it, and so that it cannot be passed on to future generations. And that's basically, that's how they kill Godzilla in the original one. Spoiler alert. After all, the movie is about, 75 years old. Got that one. Another one, the acting in this movie is really great. It's a fantastic, when you come to the acting alone, it's fantastically done. Everybody plays their characters very well. Probably one of the better acting Godzilla movies, especially for that time period. Even today, Godzilla Minus One has some strong acting as well. In the American movies, they're all basically popcorn movies, but they get some pretty good acting. But this one, I feel like they really put in a lot of effort to get some great actors to do this monster movie. Or I'm not going to try to pronounce the word in Japanese, but the acting doesn't really get enough credit as it should when people talk about this movie. I don't know. Every time somebody talks about the movie, hardly anybody talks about the acting in this movie, and it's great. Without the acting, you couldn't really carry off. I don't think Godzilla would be as popular as it is today. Probably be something like Gamera, which I guess is to me, it's always second tier to Godzilla. But overall, great movie. Especially if you're a Godzilla fan, you got to watch the movie that started it all. If you're not really a monster fan or a Godzilla fan, you're not going to like this movie. Just because the stop motion special effects, practical effects they use is just really outdated because we're talking about 75 years ago. But you have to, if you're a Godzilla fan, this is the one you're going to love. And just check in to make sure. Like I said, I wanted to talk about something that everybody always talks about, the atomic part of it. I don't think anybody really talks about the moral decisions that these characters are having to make, and how that's one of the big dilemmas throughout the movie, is people making hard decisions on how to deal with this creature destroying their country. Anyways, that's what I got on Godzilla. What do you guys think about Godzilla, the 1954, 54 or 56? Always get my years mixed up. I got this look right here, but 1954. Yeah, I was right. 54. I had to check. I get the notes back there also. Anyways, have a great day. And let me know what you guys think about the original Godzilla if you've seen it. And until next time, bye.